Hey guys, so what I am drawing is actually, I decided to draw, this morning I was actually drawing some sketches. So today I decided, well, same day, this morning I decided to draw some actual scenes from The Forgotten Dream. So my prompt right now, the last prompt that I had from this morning's shenanigans was actually monster uh, grieving, which at first didn't really make sense, but of course it makes sense when I realized, well, she was grieving when she turned into a monster because her sister just died, and everything that she ever thought was true was pretty much thrown out the window. Everything she ever fought for was pretty much thrown out the window. So I thought it was really interesting if I could redraw that scene where she's becoming a monster and losing all her innocence because she's grieving over the death of her sister. So that's what I've decided to do um, right now. So that's what I'm decided to make it into a full-fledged illustration as opposed to just the sketches from this morning. It's not going to be colored, it's going to be in black and white, but still. So I'm not used to drawing hands, so you're going to have to forgive me for that. I also am using my phone for a screen to see your guys' messages, so you're going to have to forgive me for that as well. I actually, for those of you who don't know, although I probably should wait until after to say this, I made my own server for the book because I, NaNoWriMo was hard, 50,000 words. With that being said, we need all the support we can get. We're not asking for money or anything. We're just asking that people basically, express some sort of interest, come to the stream so that we can, get motivated and really hit that 50,000 words. And if you're wondering, well, why is it so important that you hit those 50,000 words? Why should I care? The reason is, if you like The Forgotten Dream, and you want me to get it published, if I complete those 50,000 word counts, there is an actual chance that I can get it published for free. So that being said, you know, however, if you haven't actually seen it, been to the stream, unfortunately, to the Discord server, I suck. I'm nervous, but I cannot put links in the YouTube just in the video description, which is stupid. So that being said, with my app thing, that being said, I actually was working more on the first chapter today, and I was thinking if y'all wanted a sneak peek from it at some point. It does involve Griselda, and it does in fact involve Alice Cordia's first experience to death with death. And more development on why she came that way. Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yes. Pre-published. Yes. Exactly. But I need help with that because I struggle to get motivated. So I was thinking of doing like some sort of Patreon kind of thing where the more active people are, the more they support my writing, the more things they get. Like I can mail stickers. Um, I can definitely do drawings and exclusive streams, exclusives, the answering questions and stuff, as well as put your names at the end of the book. Anything that you think might help. Like, if you were saying, oh, well, I think it should be this way, I'll definitely take your considerations in the actual book. So you, in a sense, have a bit of a more of a leeway of how the story goes. And if you hear arguing in the background, I apologize. It happens. We all have our family days. So, thank you. So, what do y'all say? You guys are you guys up for a sneak peek? Because if you are, I'm going to need a volunteer to read this because I sadly cannot read and have two pages open while I draw. So it's actually on the Discord. If anybody wants to check it out, you just have to basically say, I'll read it, and then go into the voice chat and give me a second to mess with my settings so people can actually hear you read it. How do people do hands? Hands are not my strong suit. Well, I think we all know this. There we go. Yes. So, actually, I don't even know if pizza is on the server. I have like 50 tabs open right now, just so you know. So, thank you. That means a lot to me. Yeah, our new tablet is pretty darn awesome. But anyways, I was going to let somebody volunteer, but I just realized there's not a lot of people in the server anyway, so enjoy a quick uh, sneak peek. Unfortunately, while I'm giving the sneak peek, I cannot draw. I don't think you're in the. Oh, yeah, you are. I feel stupid. Okay. Where is the freaking. There is a sneak peek channel. I know there is. There we go. Here we go, guys. This is part of just chapter one. Just chapter one. As Cordia closed her eyes tight, her lips held together tight in an outburst of emotional exhaustion and pain. I was. She stopped looking at her sister. I don't want to die. Her knees shook, and the walk was too much. It felt liberating, but her body couldn't handle it. She spread her legs a little more to keep balance. I'm scared, Gree. I don't want to be bad, but I don't want to die. Looking back at and realizing that her mother was out of sight and the two of them seemed to be alone, she let her knees fall. In any other situation, she would have hidden her weakness to avoid worrying others, but she couldn't do it anymore. She leaned against her sister. I don't want you to die, Gree. You don't deserve it. Her eyes were red, becoming puffy quickly as tears began to stream down her cheeks, breaking down after what seemed to be an eternity. Griselda watched her sister fall to the floor, not out of dramatic effect, but because her body was giving out. With her eyes teary-eyed and closing, away from the family, Iris Cordia was dying. Griselda looked back at the bodies that were spread on the streets. She needed her sister. I need to do something for you, Iris Cordia mumbled. I can't just let you sit there like Mama wants. She groaned against her sister. Griselda panicked, her legs kicking into action as she began to run home, leaving her sister alone, exactly what her mother told her not to do. Tears flew in the air as she screamed for her mother. So there we go. We have a scene where Iris Cordia is dying in the beginning of the book, and Griselda is desperately trying to save her. But Iris Cordia doesn't really care for herself. Instead, she is telling Griselda, I don't really care. I feel desperate. I need to do something for you so that you don't die. So that is part of that. And we actually really like that scene. Because the whole purpose of making this reboot is we really wanted to get more in the characters' heads. We wanted to explain more about a wishing heart and what the curse actually was and all that stuff. So, what do you guys think? This is really bugging me. There we go. That's a bit better. Thank you. And well, yeah, I wanted to make that clear because I didn't want it to make it. It's a really dramatic scene, so I didn't want her to want it to seem like Iris Corder was just like begging or anything. Like I wanted to make sure the reader knows, she's dying, even though it's previously mentioned multiple times. But I am not good with facial expressions. That's why. I'm trying to rethink the scene, and the issue with the scene is that it's a scene where her whole body is changing, and it's supposed to be described as very, very painful because that's part of what the curse is. So, with that said, there is going to be gore, and I just realized that I don't know where you guys stand on that. So, just let me know your thoughts on that. Well, hey, it goes along sort of with Goretober, correct? Right? Okay. In the original book, she has a lot of cracks in her face, so I'm just might as well gonna complete that right now. Hey, hey, Ian. I'm clearly, of course, I am. I'm just drawing some characters from Forgotten Dream. I was explaining, the whole NaNoWriMo thing. I have a chance to publish it free, and I was just explaining, that people should come support it. Not with money or anything, just showing up and to these kinds of streams and being able to talk about the Forgotten Dream is enough to motivate me if people listen. And you know, I get motivated enough, I can actually finish it, which could work, which would be pretty great. There's some free publishing in there. So I know that you're aware of Grief from Mini Frontiers, so yes, this is her. Thank you. I know that when you cry, you really sniffle. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make it look like she's been, really sniffling and thinking and stuff like that. So her nose is going to be a bit open and kind of weird and gross. Oh my god. I actually have a lot of people today. This is usually does not happen. I usually do not have this many people watching, which makes me very, very happy. I also have some new peeps who are watching that never really watch, and now they're just scared because I'm assuming they're scared because there's a lot of people they don't know. But I know you, and that's all that matters. I had a friend from she was actually there when I first started writing the first book and I started selling that cringe-worthy piece of trash at school. So I'm glad that I don't know if she actually came, but she said she'd be here. She might just be lurking. So I'm just excited. This kind of looks weird to me. I don't know. The chin is a bit off. What do you guys think? Oh, that's better. Thank you. That's sweet. It's hard because I never really designed her form, her monsterish form that well, from that point of she loses herself and she starts giving into the curse. So I'm actually not that sure what it's supposed or what it's going to look like. I have a slight idea, but this is probably going through a ton of changes later. But um, I don't want to go through any stereotypical things like horns or anything like that because she's not a demon. She's not a bad person in reality. Um, the whole point of the curse actually is that it's supposed to be something that we all actually just experience in our day-to-day life, and I can explain that later when I talk more about the curse. But so yeah, if anyone has any uh, ideas to make her seem like more of, I guess evil, but not, your stereotypical I'm evil, I want to rule the world kind of thing, because that's not really her. Her evil is more like trying to find a truth. Thank you. I'm glad that you like it, Kai. Another thing that I wanted to talk about on the stream is that I feel like and especially, Ian and Pizza, if Pizza came back, is I feel like we, as a group of May Frontiers, we talk about the Wishing Heart a lot since I brought it up a long time ago, and I never really explained what it actually is, but that's something that I'm excited about because I'll finally be explaining it in the book. Um, So, I was wondering, what do you guys know about the Wishing Heart? At least some of you who have at least followed me in my weird, forgotten dream journey in the past several years. I don't know if you guys can hear my cat. Poor baby's hungry. Kind of want to make it look like her hair is sort of really, really wrecked. So that's why I'm sort of giving it, going for like this really scribbly sort of look. No, well, Griselda is after them. That is kind of the whole point, that she's after the wishing heart. But so what I tried to do in this book was I tried to make it more like the wishing heart is a sort of gift, you know? So basically what happens was that I made it. Oh god, I have to focus on anatomy. You guys don't understand how difficult anatomy is. Which completely just butchered my entire conversation because I can no longer focus on anything. But yes, you are not wrong. So basically, what I'm having to do is the wishing heart is sort of when people die, if the god sees them as just, then if it's a person who was like, say, pure, completely pure, and they did nothing but help others and make difference in the life of others. However, they ended up suffering intensely with all sorts of injustice, and they died at the hands of injustice, never really, getting any sort of recognition, never really falling to any sort of, sin or hate or jealousy. And then they would get a wishing heart, which pretty much is if one of their descendants needs a guardian, that person would get a second chance of life without pain and without hurt and would be given everything they would need to survive and pretty much would just be a guardian with that person with the power that they can pretty much imagine up anything they need so they would never have to suffer again. So let's say a person died of starvation. Great. Now they can imagine anything they want and they no longer need to suffer. Of starvation like they used to, which is it's pretty good. So that's the whole thing. However, if the wishing heart is taken, because it can be harvested, it can be taken. If you kill, the issue with the wishing heart is that the person with it does not die unless all the wishes are taken. So it's kind of like a motor. It keeps running, keeps making wishes. There's no limit on the limits you can make on the wishes you can make, although some, take more energy than others. And then when you're out of wishes, you're out of wishes. Period. Done. So if you harvest the wishing heart, you get all the wishes to yourself, and you can pretty much do anything that you could wish for. Which obviously should not fall into the wrong hands until we get Griselda. Who sort of believes, that there is no, guardian. There are no gods that that there's nothing but hate and no mercy and stuff like that in the world. So that's why she wants the wishing heart. She basically wants the wishing heart to bring her sister back to life when she dies. That changes a lot throughout the story, though, so I won't give spoilers. Yeah. But yes, yeah, so every person with a wishing heart also has someone to protect. They don't know who they are in their past life, and they don't know like who they're trying to protect or why, but they know that they have to. See, the weird thing about drawing, Griselda is that she is, first off, we're talking about somebody who is like in her tween years, which automatically makes things way more difficult. And second, we're talking about someone who is currently, I think, this scene definitely takes place in like 1312 or so, which makes things a lot harder because clothing choices. In the original book, I had that she sort of had spikes coming out of her because the curse was taking over, which that's another thing. In the book, I labeled it a curse, and with this, I'm sort of now changing it to an ancient sort of entity, which is really, it's going to get really good, if I do say so myself. Well, I mean, yeah, I did base the whole MF thing a lot on the book, though. I don't usually draw like sort of sharp teeth of sorts, but I forgot. I keep forgetting what her like all the differences that the transformation sort of makes in her. It makes her hands more like really not human. So they'd be a bit more like that, even though that's not exactly how human hands work. I don't know if I'm gonna even work with those because that's gonna be covered by hair at this point. The one thing that is good about having her completely with malnutrition and incredibly poor is that I don't have to draw boobs. Just saying. And that's a good thing. There you go. Yeah, I get that. At least you guys had fun with her. Yeah, yeah, it did kind of change a lot over time with Many Frontiers. But according to the book, the curse is supposed to be an entity. Basically, it's so the world that Griselda lives in is not Earth. She does not live on Earth, even though it takes place in the time period of the medieval times. She basically lives off of a. They think they do though. Basically, she lives off of a plane of existence where all the, every story there ever was, think of imagination, all that kind of stuff, everything that is or was began with a dream. And so all that fiction, all those fairy tales, all that stuff, um, that's where she lives. If you've ever, had an idea, the idea lands there because before it becomes a fruition, that's where she lives. And so the issue with that was that when you do that, there's always, when you create something, there's always a hint of yourself in there. There's always a hint of emotion in there, no matter what you draw. Even if I just draw that means I'm having a fun time, I drew it because I'm having fun with you guys on the stream. So there's always a hint in emotion, and then there is the type of emotion that you just suppress because it's not acceptable for you to have, you know, it's not acceptable sometimes for you to hate somebody even if they deserve it. It's not socially acceptable for you to want to kill somebody, for example. But what happens to all those types of emotions that are suppressed that people just leave there? They kind of don't do anything about it. So the curse itself is some sort of a parasite from the beginning of time, ever since humans started, and it's pretty much just a lot of the hate that was suppressed and never accepted, and it sort of comes together, festers in the heart, but comes together in this world as one being. Now, the being doesn't actually have a body since it was never allowed to manifest in real life in the first place. So it sort of just tries to find different vessels, whether they're fake or not, whether they're fictional or not. And that's what Addis Cordia has to deal with. The creature has chosen to prey on her bloodline. So that's, the famous curse that Addie has to do, that they both have to deal with. Now, what I have to deal with is this actual part here. I have no idea how I'm going to do this part in terms of anatomy, because this is the part where her actual body becomes not only herself but the curse. It sort of eats her up inside, and I mean that literally. So all this sort of becomes a sort of new bone structure. I don't know how to explain it, but if this were the chest, then it would go something like this then. I also was thinking of kind of like putting these are supposed to be teeth, obviously, but I was also since I'm making a row of teeth anyways, I was thinking of actually putting some teeth that weren't even part of the mouth, but sort of just like come out of nowhere, because it's as if like her own pain is adding in to everyone else's pain, but that is making the curse. I feel like I'm really scared that I'm actually making these lines way too thick. Because I usually put them on two, and these are like five. So I don't even know if it's that noticeable, but I hope it's not. Another thing that I mentioned the other day is that when writing the Forgotten Dream, I know that you guys have always heard me say this, but I don't feel like I ever explained, properly. Like I really put a lot of myself in there, which makes it a lot more fun. Like for example, Ruby, the red character with the red hair and stuff. Yeah, she deals with a severe identity crisis to the point at not at this point in the book, nowhere near this point in the book, but another point in the book, she deals with an identity crisis so bad that it literally tears a world apart because she is so strong and so stressed out that things start getting pretty bad. Since she ends up going to Earth, where there is no magic and no real reality, reality is different, and her huge question is, what am I in the sense of reality? It's a lot of it's symbolic, and I don't know. Maybe I'm just being dumb, but I really like it. Okay, now you're good. You're good. So that being said, I've been babbling on the Forgotten Dream a lot. I mean, that's kind of the point, the point of this stream. But how is everybody? What have y'all been up to? What are you guys looking forward to? You missed me babbling a lot about Forgotten Dream. Uh, I was explaining Wishing Hearts. I was explaining a lot more about the curse. Uh, um, I forgot where you left off. Yeah, no, you're good. Internet tends to do that. And now I'm trying to figure out how to draw her tongue, which is a sort of like a weird reptilian tongue, without, it looking extremely weird. Hello, you guys both came back around the same exact time. And for those who haven't figured it out already, I love Streamlabs because it is a free streaming program. However, it sucks to the point where there's like a 30-second, or very possibly at times 1 minute lag. So bear with me. I'm doing this in black and white, so thank God I can actually do this. I have a feeling that people are going to judge me after this because the because basically the issue with this scene right here is that her skin is basically getting torn apart, and I have a feeling that that is going to bring a lot of what the frick, Crystal moments. This is sort of what I wanted to do, but I don't know how I'm going to do that with the actual mouth. Oh yes, absolutely. Well, a lot of the Forgotten Dream is symbolism. Once you get that figured out, you're good. So, uh, it's more like the um, the curse at this point is eating her alive, and it's trying to eat other people alive. And that curse is pretty much essentially just hate that is being suppressed over basically centuries and centuries of human history. Like, to be honest, what about all those people in genocide who people who had to suffer, being part of a war and, for example, genocide, and let's say their family members were innocent and killed, and you were like, well, I know these people were forced in the army. They probably didn't want to kill my family members or this or that, and but you hate them. You hate the murderers, but you can't say that, for obvious reasons. So that's what I tried to pull off. I'm not sure if I did it were good, but I tried. Oh great, now time for fashion. Let's draw this. This fun part. And by fun part, I mean the part that I absolutely hate. Because clothing. So that's where this shirt is supposed to be, but yeah, that's not gonna happen. I have no idea what's going on in the chat. I just know that, something about Griselda being used for many frontiers, and I have no idea what's happening with her, but okay. Honestly, feel kind of. Okay, no, I do not feel kind of. I feel pretty bad for her, honestly. Even though she's a fictional character, I feel bad for her. Oh yeah, I don't know who Meryl is. I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna do her butt because you see the thing is like even though um like Griselda is a tween, what makes it even harder to and I'm used to making purely adults. What makes it even harder is that she's only like she's not even 5 foot. According to the book, she's not even 5 feet tall. She might as well be a mini. Yeah. I duck what? Internet? Yeah, she is supposed to be like insanely short because of how malnutrition she was. I mean, I don't know if you guys have read the prologue or well, I know Pizza Ruby has, but in the prologue it describes that 1300s at that time they were only there wasn't a supermarket or a trade or anything. They were making their own food, and if you couldn't find any, basically you would have to eat tree bark if it was edible or nuts in order to survive. And so the 1300s where this take place, this is actually just before the Great Famine. Um, so it's actually just so yeah, they try getting nutrition without any meat or any sort of things, just nuts and leaves and tree bark. Try surviving on that and see how your body ends up. So I feel like this is weird. I feel like this is just not accurate and it bugs me. Does this look like she has two legs or because that is what is anatomy, you guys? Oh, that actually works a lot better. Yay, perfect. Yeah, links don't work in YouTube chat. They also do not work in Streamlabs apparently, which really is very annoying. So here's my question. And this is, I guess, for Corey or mainly anybody else who has actually read the version before this one, not the cringeworthy version that I sold in high school. Jesus, oh God, ugh, audibly cringes. I want to know what your favorite scene is, so that I can make sure of the whole book, so I can make sure to include it um, when I, actually get to that scene. So, what is your favorite bit? I have my personal favorite scenes while you guys type. I have favorite scenes from all over. So um, Ruby's identity crisis is definitely a big part that I love. Chapter 6 is definitely my favorite chapter and always will be most likely because favorite characters right there. Um, what other, you know, I also like the part, this is also in chapter 6, but when Gretel figures out that the her adoptive brother was the one who actually accidentally, you know, just pretty much killed her entire family and city. Accidentally could have happened to anyone, but still, though, that's pretty harsh. Yes. So wait, which was your favorite scene? I don't know if you just said it and I missed it. I was talking about a few favorite scenes right there. And just to point out, I also created a third chapter of Lost Souls of War, so I'm really excited about that as well. So if anyone wants to check it out, do not hesitate. It's the third chapter is probably the cutest chapter in the entire book you will ever get the pleasure of seeing. Oh yeah, yeah. I really love that plotline. Honestly, not gonna lie. And I'm totally not biased because she falls in love with my so Ruby is in love with Max in the story. That's how we ship it. Pretty sure Pizza Ruby knows this because we've made way too many shipping stories with them too. But the thing is, Max is lit. It's just me. This was when Chris couldn't mention her alters, so it's just the book version of me. So totally not biased there. I kind of want to make them sort of like these jaggedy rocks, but I don't know how bad that looks. Kind of want to make it look like they're sort of coming out of her back. Okay. All right. Thank you. I'm glad that you like it. I told you today was gonna be a good stream in the sense that I was not gonna do sketches. I was gonna actually try for something. And for those of you who don't know, you probably do, well, I got a new drawing tablet and I freaking love it because my other one sucked. It was so hard to draw. I think another thing that I can probably get away with is if I make it look like this is sort of where her waistband ended. So that way I would do not have to draw anything inappropriate because this is still not supposed to be an R-rated book, so no privates. Oh, well, of course, it's painful. It's supposed to be a really long dress, as they would wear in, medieval times. But I'm not really sure if I've gotten there yet, because I don't usually, you know, draw skirts in general, let alone skirts on medieval preteen, very short women who happen to be exposed and have their bones and anatomy and organs altered by some sort of hateful parasite. Oh, not sure what happened right there, but it's nothing we can't fix. It's nothing we can't fix, she says with hope. I actually don't know what just happened there, but nothing is working. Nothing is what. Why? Okay, now I have no idea what I did. I seem to have made it even worse. Okay. So, it's gone. uh, mm. No, it is not allowing me to save it because, according to it, it does not exist. Yeah, according to it. Okay. Well, we are. This is new. I suppose that is a sign that I will stop for now. I love you guys. I will see you later. If y'all want to join the Discord for the Forgotten Dream server to support me and my journey on getting it published with NaNoWriMo and 50,000 words, feel free to message me wherever and or text me.